Food in oxygen not included tends to spoil faster when stored at warm temperatures. To keep it fresh longer, you'll want to refrigerate it. In the early game, although technically it's not refrigerating it, you can place down a ration box into a pit of carbon dioxide, and if you hover over the ration box, it'll say the ration box is in a sterile environment, effectively slowing the decay rate of food. The next method is to obviously build a refrigerator. Power it up, and duplicants will automatically store food inside. This slows down the food decay but doesn't stop it completely. It stores the food in 1 degree Celsius, effectively slowing the food decay down. For better preservation, place your fridge in a cold biome, like an ice biome, so the surrounding environment helps keep the temperature low. Some players even dig into frozen areas to build natural freezers. Now in the late game, you can use thermoregulators to actively cool storage areas. In my colony, all the food is placed into this one tile that's filled with hydrogen gas, making this one tile of area a sterile environment and is cooled down by a thermoregulator. To make one of your own, follow along with how I build it. First, we have to make sure to place down the thermoregulator first, and then attach it to a pipe thermosensor. This sensor will detect the temperature of the gas inside the pipes. This will help with disabling or turning off the thermoregulator when it detects a gas that has already reached whatever temperature we want to set it at. This also prevents the gas from being cooled down by too much, or else it'll freeze and turn into liquid. Now comes the tricky part. To get that single tile of hydrogen gas, cover up the top part of the floor first, and then the sides, and now you can place down a canister drainer or a canister emptier. For this example, we're going to use a drainer just to be safe. Set it to intake hydrogen gas and enable auto bottle, and connect it to a gas vent. Now get a gas canister that's filled with hydrogen from a canister filler, and let your duplicant do the work. We only need to make sure one tile is covered. It doesn't matter how much hydrogen gas as long as we're covering this one tile. Now place down a conveyor chute and connect conveyor rails beforehand, because once this is sealed off, you can never open this or else it'll break. Once you place down the chute, place down the gas bridge like this. And follow what I do here with the insulated and radiant pipes. After that, place down a metal tile just below it, and then cover it up with insulated tiles. Now you just need to supply the thermoregulator with hydrogen. Set the temperature to above -50 degrees. And lastly, place down a few tiles of water below the thermoregulator to keep it from getting too hot. Just make sure that every tile where the water is doesn't exceed 200 kilos. And you're done. You've made your very own deep freezer. Now, the duplicants can't actually access this food on their own, so you're going to need an auto sweeper. If you place this down diagonally from where the chute is, the auto sweeper can get that food inside of that tile. After that's done, place down a refrigerator within the range of the auto sweeper. Filter it to take every edible food, but set it between 2 to 4 kilos of food. This amount changes depending on how many duplicants you have in your colony. Once food is placed into the normal fridge, it loses the benefit of the deep freezer. That's why we only have to set it between 2 to 4 kilos, to prevent too much food from being taken out of the deep freezer and end up spoiling. Once the tile of hydrogen reaches below -18 degrees, the food will all now be in a state of deep freeze, forever keeping the food fresh. And that's how to refrigerate food in oxygen not included.